of all, love to welcome everybody to Tuesday Night Talks. This is week 11 for us doing Tuesday Night Talks. Really appreciate everybody that's been tuning in week after week to join us here. My name is Matt Elkin. I'm here with Scott Martin, and we are here from West Coast Elite Basketball and Attitude of Gratitude Consulting. We are really excited for tonight's speakers. We have three amazing head coaches from different parts of the country that we're really excited to have you all meet and learn a lot more about their institutions. Before we get started, I wanted to just quickly share my screen with everybody. I know it's been a really challenging time for a lot of people with the pandemic and things that have gone on in the recruiting cycle, but West Coast Elite Basketball has been partnering with all academic basketball camps, and we are planning on running some camps upcoming next month as well as in the fall. So I've shared my screen here so you guys can see some of our high academic camps. We'll be in Phoenix, Chicago, on the West Coast, and in Las Vegas as well. So for those of you that are on the West Coast, we hope that you can make some of these, or those of you that are tuning in from the Midwest for our Chicago camp. But again, these are great opportunities, and many of the coaches that are on our calls each Tuesday night are working these camps, coaching at these camps. These are great opportunities for exposure. So if you guys have any more questions about those camps, please feel free to reach out to any of us, and we hope that you guys can make that. But in the meantime, part of when we started Tuesday Night Talks originally was to kind of help people get acclimated and introduced really to the new process of recruiting, and part of that is getting to know some schools that might be out of the area that you aren't able to go see or come see you. And one of those schools we're really excited to have on this evening is Tufts University, and Coach Bob Sheldon. Appreciate you being with us tonight, Coach.
I'm happy to be here. Anything to get out of the house, Matt.
I hear you. And as you guys guys and girls can see, Coach is in their beautiful gym at Tufts just outside of Boston. Beautiful campus. I've been there. Scott has been there, both of us, many times. It's a gorgeous campus, amazing school. And so first things first, Coach, tell us a little bit about your background. Tell us kind of about what brought you to Tufts and kind of where, along the journey you are now in your time at the university.
Yeah, I'm the son of a coach. My dad actually was a basketball coach and then became an athletic director at St. Lawrence University, where I went to school and played. So I kind of always knew I wanted to be a coach. So I actually played 4 years at St. Lawrence. Wasn't that good. I don't know if I'd play me if I was the coach. But I had a great experience, and I knew I wanted to coach. So I just enjoyed being on the team. And then I was in some prep schools for 2 or 3 years. And then I came up and I was actually assistant at Tufts for 2 years. And then went over to Clark University for 3 years, where I was an assistant. We went to the national title game and lost by 6 in overtime. I still remember every play. And then I came back here. So I've been at Tufts for 32 years. This will be my 33rd year coming up. And it's, like you said earlier, it's just a great school, great facilities, student athletes. It's got everything I wanted as a coach. And I think it has everything that you want as a student athlete. So that's kind of how I ended up here. And 33 years is a long time. So you asked me where I am in my career, kind of on the downside a little bit. Not in energy or anything, just in years. Okay, let's keep it straight.
Experienced, we like to say. Experienced, we like to say. Tell us a little bit more about Tufts. So, what initially attracted you to the university, and tell us about kind of what makes you unique from an academic standpoint.
Yeah, Tufts was my first assistant job. I was here with Rod Baker, and for 2 years, and then just got a great feel for the kids here and everything. Went to Clark, which was kind of like that school. But then when Rod left, I came back and got the job. And the reason I've stayed is that the people here are motivated. Our players come in and they're motivated as players. They're motivated as students. And they're motivated when they get out of school. Having been here so long, there's a lot of alumni that will help me out for money if we go on a trip. It's a big family, and it's been a family since I've gotten here. And, we're in one of the toughest leagues in America, NESCAC, if not the toughest Division III league. I'll put it out there. Some other coaches can disagree. But, we always have 2 or 3, sometimes 4 people in the NCAAs. We've had a lot of national championships. Not here at Tufts, unfortunately. But it's just the competition, the level, and the way that the sports are treated here by the university is made me stay 33 years. It's just the players in the college together are both of the reasons I've stayed.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I know, Coach, you have some slides that you wanted to share with us. So we'd love to throw those up if now's a good time.
It is, and this is a test of my computer knowledge right here. I'm gonna share the screen. Uh-oh. Click on that. Okay, boom.
Perfect.
All right, we good?
Yep, we can see it.
I'm counting that as another win for the program right there. This is a picture just at the end of the year. This year, we won our first actual NESCAC champions. What happens, there's 11 schools in NESCAC, all good academic and athletic schools. And in basketball, 8 teams make the playoffs. And 8 goes to 1, 7 goes to 2, 6 to 3, 5 to 4. And then the best seed left hosts a Final Four for everybody in NESCAC. The gym is packed. There's 4 teams in it. They're always great games. And this year we won. We actually beat Colby in triple overtime. We hit a well-designed play with 7 seconds. We had the ball, and we ran a little play and threw in about a 38-foot three-pointer that hit nothing but net to tie it up. Then we had a freshman from California, Dylan Thorner, dropped 2 free throws with 4 seconds left to tie it up in the second overtime. And then we won it in the next one going away. So it was exciting. So that's kind of why we have that picture there. This is a little bit about Tufts, just an overview. The picture in the top left is looking out from our library, and you can see where Boston is in the background there. We're 4 miles north of Boston. We're in Medford, Somerville. It's a suburban campus, but it's got a blend of different things. It could be anywhere in New England. If you want to stay on campus, stay on campus. If you want to go to the Garden, or if you want to go see the Patriots play, you can go and do that. If you want the nightlife, it's all right there. Another thing with the location is that a lot of our guys get internships, and they stay up here in the summer, and they'll play basketball and work out together, but they'll do an internship because we're in Boston. We're a city school without a city, campus. And there's approximately 55 undergrad students. There's around 7,000 on the campus with our grad schools. And 100% of the first year, you can read that, live on campus, and 65, okay, you can see all that. And they come from all over. Our students come from 50 states, 48 countries. California is actually the second most populated state here. We actually have 4 guys on our team right now from California. We have Justin Kumiajian, who's from La Cañada, or if you're from Boston, La Canada. Dylan Thorner from Beekman and Irvine. Eric DeBrine from Sacred Heart. Chris Ports from Monte Vista. So, we really do bring in the California kids. But as you can see there, I'll leave that up just a second longer. There's 120 different majors. And, if you want to be an engineer, there's 30 different engineering types. So it's just, we offer a lot of things. As you see, the most popular ones were computer science, international relations, biology, and economics. And we don't have business, which a lot of young people want, but the economics covers that with no problem at all. Moving on to the basketball a little bit, as you can see, upper right and lower right is the weight room. We share it with the other sports, and they appreciate that. So,
Coach, can you just go to the next slide? We are still on that previous slide. I think just click on it on the left side there in the preview bar or something.
Bring it in a technical knowledge.
Perfect. There you go. Yep.
Does that show? All right. You can see that?
Yep.
Full screen?
If you click play from the start, then you can go through slide by slide. You should be able to.
There, how's that? Is that good?
I think I click it again. double clicking it.
The shows.
Come on, Matt. What are we doing over here? Come on.
Is it not showing up?
It's still showing like the preview.
If there's any coaches on here, I may be looking for somebody for next week. There you go. We'll use the little one.
That's fine. Yeah, just click on the next one. That's fine.
Right. Okay.
Perfect.
That one works?
Yes.
So upper right in the bottom right are the weight rooms, like I said, that we share with the other teams. And then the little picture there is actually our video room. We do a lot of video work. You know, we work before practice, we work after, we do a lot with that. But as you can see, off season, you know, we start right the day we get at school. We start lifting 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then Tuesday and Thursday, we have captains practices where they play pickup and, you know, do a drill or two on their own. And then often we'll play on Saturday. And then once we start the season, we kind of stay to those same times. So Monday and Wednesday, we're at 4:30 to 6:30 with film and stuff. Tuesday and Thursday, we're at night at 6 to 6:30. And what that does is it allows people to take labs. If they're in, you know, engineering or pre-med or something, you can take labs, and those are big lab days, Tuesday and Thursday. So that works out well for it. And then Friday, it alternates from 2:30 to 4:30. So it works out. It's a pretty good schedule because, you know, classes start at 8 in the morning and go to 10 at night. So you can work your class schedule around what we have to do. When people get to be juniors and seniors and might have to take a class that runs into practice, either the beginning or the end of it, we understand. We have no qualms. You take off and go to, you know, you go to the class, or you come in 15 minutes late. We're fine with that. And then, as you see, there's a little brief, once our schedule in the season down there, we were number 4 in the nation in the strength of schedule this year. Usually we're in the top 2 or 3. You know, I say we'll play anybody anywhere, and we do that. You know, we play the tougher teams around here, MIT, Babson, you know, Brandeis has a good WPI. We'll play them all. We actually take a trip every other year. We come out to California and play different teams out there. Just so that the guys from California can go home and play in front of their parents and their friends and stuff. You know, and we've had recent trips to New York City, Washington, St. Louis, Philadelphia. We've been down to, you know, Washington, D.C. and everything. Our league doesn't start until January. So we do this before. You know, we don't miss any school. We do it, you know, Thanksgiving vacation, Christmas vacation. Well, one nice thing about NESCAC, well, about Tufts is, and I say that now because we're not in the middle of it, but we start finals. We cannot have practice or anything. So we start finals in December 10th. We're off until, you know, the 26th or 27th. So you get a couple weeks to go home and be with your parents. And like I said, that doesn't bother me now, but it bothers me when they come back and they're not really in the shape they should be in. So once every 4 years, I just kill them just so they remember that. But NESCAC is the toughest league, and, you know, we play, and it's just, you play the team one time, and we've taken a little heat across America for not going home and home. But I think it's tougher this way because, you know, you lose the first game on a half-court shot, and you could go 9-1 and still not be in first place, you know, and you never get that chance to avenge that until the playoffs. All right, moving on. This is a little bit about the basketball. You can see the picture of the gym down there. And we threw a shot in lacrosse since they've been national champs for 4 or 5 years. So we gave them a little love. But what we look for in a teammate, we want them competitive. We want them to be accountable, and we want their work ethic to be there. We want, you know, we put team first, and we look for that. But we look for winners, and we look for people that fill these things. And, you know, the skills got to be there, but past that, we look for guys that are competitive, that want to play hard. We look for guys that we feel love the game and want to be there every day and work on their game. And the work ethic is involved in that. We also look for guys that, you know, have some character and want to come in and be part of something that's bigger than them. And, you know, that's how we build our team chemistry. Defensively, we play man-to-man 95% of the time. We play zone a little bit just to have it. Very communicated. We force to the outside. We, you know, help and rotate, and we want guys that can contest the 3, and then all 5 guys rebound. We want to get out. We want to get the ball. Our offense is transition-based, pretty high tempo. We averaged almost 82 points a game this year. And what we do is we go 4 out and 1 in, and we have quick hitter plays that will come down A lot of them are out of transition, and we'll run a play, and if we don't get it, we just go right into motion. And we kind of let you be you on offense. You know, we try to get guys in good positions to take advantage of a weakness that the defense may have. You know, on defense, you're doing exactly what we want you to do, so everybody's on the same page. But on offense, you get to be yourself a little bit. You get to come down and, you know, we're not afraid to fire a 3 up or 10 or 20 or sometimes even 30 a game. But it's 4 out. And if you look at our roster, we have 4 centers, and then the other 11 guys were wings and guards. We list them all as guards. So your 6'6" forwards really get excited about that when they come to college. They think they're finally a guard, but it's just on the paper. Recruiting philosophy, you know, again, that's a picture of the gym where I'm actually sitting down by the scores table there. It's a great gym. We fill it especially for a NESCAC game. It gets full. And we have some great games in here. You couldn't move for the playoffs, and we got to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAAs this year. You know, you couldn't move. They had to close the doors. It was a great atmosphere. But our recruiting philosophy, which I guess is kind of important for this talk, is that, you know, we're targeted and we're direct. We're not going to recruit 100 people or 200 people. We're going to find the right fit for our team and, you know, start out with a smaller list, you know, that has motivated students, people that want to play, want to be part of a team. And then we go from there, and then we evaluate, you know, we see them play as much as we can. And, you know, when we're up front with them, we let them know if they're going to play or what their role is going to be and if there's something they want. And like I said, we're not going to bring in 7 or 8 guys every year. We try to bring in 3 or 4 and, you know, have a team of 13 to 15 guys. We're looking for versatility. Like I said, we play 4 guys on the outside. We run. They're all guards. We look for guys that are competitive, who want to defend and rebound, because there is 2 ends to the basketball court. And, you know, a big thing is putting winning above everything in that team. The team and winning got to be first. Skill set, shoot the ball with range, pass, dribble, make decisions, have high IQ, and want to get dirty, want to play hard, want to get on the floor. But I think one of the most important things we look for is we want guys that enjoy basketball and want to be on the court. So that's what I have for that. Let me see if I can get out of it.
That's great.
Thank you. Kind of excited. That's another win.
Yeah.
So that's kind of Tufts in a 10-minute nutshell. You know what the basketball program is. You know, one thing I'd like to say, Matt, Scott, is that I talked about the basketball family. You know, we have great alumni. You know, we're in Boston, so at our game there can be anywhere from, you know, 10 to 15 alums. You know, the younger guys, older guys that come in and, you know, maybe go into my office after and have a soda or 2, but, you know, they're there. They support it. These are guys that we can call up and get internships, guys that call up and get interviews for jobs. And, you know, because of where we are, it's just a great location. And, you know, in New York's 3 hours away, we get guys that'll come up for a weekend and hit the 2 NESCAC games, because those games are Friday night, Saturday afternoon. And, you know, they come in and they talk to our players and meet our players. And there's a good relationship, and there's a great alumni base that we work out of. So I think that's just a big perk or bonus of playing basketball at Tufts.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that was great. Appreciate you sharing that with us, Coach. And I know typically this is the point when I toss it over to Scotty and he'd ask those exact questions he's already answered. So I'm going to put Scotty on the spot here and see if he's got some other ones for you. Scott.
Coach, what's it take to get in? Test score, transcripts, are you test optional? Are you going test optional? What do you need on the academic side?
We are going test optional for the next 3 years, because they didn't want to just throw it in for 1 year, I guess, so they're going to do it for 3. So that's kind of put a whole, you know, it's hard for me to say, you know, like before you had to have over 1350, 1400 SATs, you know, and so right now you can use your SATs to get in if you're up in that range. But with so much being messed up, we're not sure. We've been in contact. We've had Zooms with admissions, and, you know, they're telling us what to do and what not to do. And, you know, I don't think they know, to be honest with you, Scott. It's up in the air. But you've got to be an AB student. You've got to have AP courses. You know, you've got to, if you've going to put the tests in, the ACT or the SAT, it's got to be up there. It's got to be, the average SAT score at Tufts is 1430. That's the average. So
I mean, that's why it's a top 30 academic school, so that helps.
it helps. It helps.
Another cool thing, it's a top 30 value school. What's the cost and what kind of aid do they offer?
Well, first of all, Scott, I'd like to say, can you put a price on education? No, you can't. But it's around 75,000 that's everything. That's travel, that's books, that's room and board, that's tuition, that's your health insurance and everything. So it's expensive, but people find a way to do it. And I think they've learned that, and they have all the stats and everything. Once graduate stuff, people get jobs. They either get jobs or go to grad school. I think it's like 98% either have a job or go to grad school that graduates. So it's. I can say it's worth it. I've had 2 kids graduate from here. They both have great jobs. Of course, I didn't have to pay tuition, so that helped a little bit along that. It's just, it's worth it.
Is there any merit or need-based aid that the university offers?
There's no merit. It's all need-based. And what Tufts will do is they'll meet 100% of your aid. Some schools gap. I don't know if you know what that means. Yeah. Some schools gap, but Tufts doesn't. If say you're supposed to get 40,000 in aid, you're going to get 40,000 in aid, and they're going to work it out. And once you get here, if something happens where a job changes or somebody retires, they're going to work with you because they want you to graduate. So the financial aid is really good here, and they'll work with you.
That's awesome. And I also noticed that you guys do a lot of work in the community, Team Impact, Big Brother program. Can you talk about all the stuff your program does in the community?
We've had a Team Impact guy. It's been special it's supposed to be 2 years. We've had him for 3 years, and we're going to have him again next year. He's a young man that had cystic fibrosis, and it's a tough thing. It's a lung disease, quick explanation. But the thing about it is that he cannot be with other people with cystic fibrosis. I don't know if a lot of people, I didn't know this. Like, there can't be a cystic fibrosis, room where they go and hang out and talk about being on it, because if they get together, their germs can make like a super germ and can basically kill them. So they can't be within 6 to 8 feet of another kid with cystic fibrosis. So he comes, and he's actually a twin. His brother comes with him. They come to practice. They sit on our bench. I've had to tell them to be quiet a little bit with the referees. They get carried away. But I think what it's done for us, it's helped them a lot. We go to one of their games every year. They're in 5th and 6th grade, and I walk in with 15 guys that are, we got a couple of big 6'8", 6'10", 6'6" guys, and screaming and yelling at their games and everything. And it's just, our guys have learned, because a lot of people here have, had good lives and, have the money to come here and had good educations. And, for this kid, it's not as rosy. He was 2 years ago, he was in a hospital for 280 days. And, wow. And then he's actually tried out this new drug, and that's worked. He was in the hospital last year 11 days. So it's good for our guys to see that, and it's good for them. And the other thing you mentioned was the Big Brothers. We do that. They go to a school around here. It's usually one they can walk to, and they just go once a week and they hang out with a kid at lunch, and they and then those kids will come to the games and stuff. And so it's a good give and take there. Another thing that we do is every year we have a big Medford Somerville. Our campus is kind of in between Medford and Somerville. It's half and half. So we have a game every year, the boys and girls game. The gym is packed, and we've got a trophy for them, and we give a trophy out. And it's just a good, out community reach program. So that's another thing that we do that works out pretty good.
That's awesome stuff you guys do, especially getting these guys ready for the real world.
Exactly.
You guys have a huge roster of people all over the place. In a normal recruiting year, how do you find your prospects and how do you formulate that list of recruits?
Well, if I have any advice for a coach in colleges, you got to hire 2 or 3 assistants that are young and have no lives, which my guys don't have. And so they're out all the time. They're out all summer. Coach Malone, he's out in California. He'll go out there for 2 weeks. We're in Vegas. He goes there. Coach Ritos will go down to Florida for, Orlando and those, and then we have guys up in here with the, basketball and some of those other different things that are around here. And I stay within the Boston metro region. just because I know that better. But we get all over. So we go all over and we get kids, and then we get lists, and then, we start with the academics, and we, weed some people out, and then, and then we try and see every guy we want. We get film. Like right now, we're watching films every day. And I say we, I mean my assistants again are watching those films, and it's just, because it's a little different. But we're out. We go to those things. I don't know. You guys know Matt well. He's out and all summer long. Then you pare it down. Yeah.
How do you get on the radar this year? So if there's a student interested in Tufts as a student athlete, how do they get on your radar this year?
Yeah, this year, send us an email to me or Coach Malone. It's on the site. Send us an email, send us some film. You can put this stuff in. Right now, our league won't allow us any in-person recruiting, and I don't know if that date's going to lift or not. So we're doing all by email. We'll look at every film. We'll answer every person. I mean, that's the only way right now. Hopefully things open up in the fall where we can get to some things, and then hopefully it'll open up in the fall where you can come and visit too, because, it's important that you see the college and get a feel for the college.
No, I mean, I had been at Tufts, except for this year, for 4 years straight to do our Ivy League tour with West Coast Elite. And every year, new weight room gets redone. Gym looks beautiful. Can you talk about the administration's support for the basketball program?
Yeah, there's great support for the program and for everybody, for all of our sports. And, again, we haven't had the national championship yet, unless you count this year, because we were in an NCAA tournament and our season ended and it wasn't on a loss. So I don't know, do some math. It's co-national champs, I guess. Uh-oh. Did I cut out, Scott? No, we're good.
We heard you.
But the administration, they support everything. The president comes to probably 3/4 of our home games. He was at every playoff game. He sits right behind the bench. I tried to tell him there's a better seat back up farther away, but I don't know why he wants to be right there. But he's always right there. And, we get the support. And we like I said, we go to California every other year. And part of that, we raise the money with our alums. And it's just a great community. I think the administration realizes what athletics can bring, even at our level. I know it's not Division I, we're bringing in tons of money, but we're bringing in interest. We're getting our name out there. The soccer program has been national champs for the last 6 years. The lacrosse has won 4 national titles. So there's been some national championships, and it's good for the school, and our president and the administration realize that.
That's awesome.
Coach, you touched on, obviously, having been at Tufts for 3 decades now. You've coached a ton of players, and you talk about the alumni coming back. You've taken trips all over different parts of the country. Tell us a little bit about some former players of yours that kind of what they're doing now since they've graduated from the program, and what sort of occupations are they doing? Where are they in the country? Just touch on a couple instances.
I mean, they're all over, Matt. They're all over. Mike Wolf is out there. He's a basketball coach. Played for me in the early '90s. One of the best pick setters in Division III. He was a 6'4", 280-pound two-guard, played for us. But he's been very successful. He coached in college for a while. Now he's at the prep school league. We've got, guys that have gone over and played pro. We had a guy that graduated 2 years ago, Vinny Pace, went over and played pro in Europe for a year and was MVP of his league. But, we have doctors, we have lawyers. They're all over. We have, Bruce Bly played for me, graduated, I think, in '92, is, a venture capitalist out in the San Francisco, the Bay Area, and, is very supportive of our program. But we have a lot of local guys and a lot of businesses, real estate and the same thing. But it's just very successful guys and willing to give back to the program. That's something I mentioned. We want good teammates, and that teammate thing carries on.
Definitely. Well, and I wanted to ask you about this. I grew up in Boston, and so I know very well about the city and all the colleges in the surrounding area. Can you just talk about, like, what is that experience like for your players and your students to go to a city like Boston where there's so many other young people and college age kids around? What's that experience like for them?
It's Boston's a college town. There's a road 128 that goes around Boston. There are 47 colleges and universities inside of that, 250,000 college kids. So, you can if you want to go clubbing, you go clubbing. You can do it. You want to, go and see concerts, to see concerts. It's just a great college town. And I think, guys that have friends at other schools, they're 15, 20 minutes away. And like you said, there's so many schools and everything. You make friends at different things. And I know schools come over and fraternities maybe party here. And there's just a great social give and take between the colleges. And it's just, Boston's a great sports town and it's a great college town.
Yeah, I was talking more about study sessions and late nights in the library. You're talking about clubbing and frat parties. I don't know. We're not seeing. No, I get. But yeah, and
we're using this as a recruiting tool, aren't we?
No, I know it's getting late here on the East Coast, but I appreciate you staying up with us tonight, and I hope we've had your email address has been below in the chat box, so if people do have questions they want to follow up, please do that also on the website. But with the last couple minutes here, is there anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you wanted to touch on before we sign off?
No, you've done a great job. You guys, both of you have done a great job. And this is helping college coaches. It's helping high school players. This is a really good thing that you're doing. And I want to thank you for doing that. You did send me a thing about, some questions you might ask. And one of them you said, of the player that you would want on your team, Michael Jordan or LeBron. I'm going to leave it at this. And if you come to Tufts, you can argue with me. Shaquille O'Neal.
Wow, he got the props too. Oh, man.
I love it.
That's how I'd like to leave it.
A Los Angeles guy, LA Laker. I like it. It's cool.
Right. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Appreciate you, Coach. Have a good evening. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Welcome. Well, we'd love to introduce our second speaker of the evening, coming to us from the Midwest, Lake Forest College, Coach Ken Davis. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Matt.
I know we got a chance to talk earlier today on the phone, but wanted for the people that are on the call tonight that might be unfamiliar, give us a little bit about your background and kind of what brought you to Lake Forest.
Yeah, background-wise for me, when I got out of college, I actually was doing more what Scotty did as far as the financial world. I'd started at a place called the Chicago Board of Trade, which is a financial futures exchange. And then I'd done that for about 9 years, and I was getting, I'd say, just a little tired of that and wanted to do more with my life. I went back to school, got a master's of arts in teaching, and I started coaching first at a junior high, and then I went to a high school that was nearby and worked my way to then becoming a head coach at the high school level in the Chicagoland area. And then I have two boys besides a daughter, and when one of my sons was going to be a senior and the other was going to be a sophomore, and I really never saw them play that much. And so I still wanted to coach, but I also wanted to look for some other opportunities. And so we had a player that went to Lake Forest College. I had gotten friendly with the head coach there. His name was Chris Conger. He's got something actually in common with you, Matty. He graduated from Madison at the University of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And played there for Stan Van Gundy, Stu Jackson, a variety of coaches. And he hired me as an assistant, and that's really how I got to Lake Forest College. So now I've been the head coach the last 6 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And tell us a little bit about the school. Tell us about, Lake Forest, the community, the academics, kind of everything not related to the basketball side of things.
Yeah, the community, and I'll go over that too as far as for some things. We're about 30 miles north of Chicago. We're in the northern suburbs, right along Lake Michigan. We are a liberal arts school with just under 1,600 students, with a very, very diverse student body as far as geographically, economically, and then internationally as well. So, we pride ourselves on that, and it's been a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah, and you've done a phenomenal job, really fostering that student athlete experience. From we're just looking on the website, you've had over over 25, I believe, players that have earned all academic all MWC honors. So, you know, having guys that are getting it done in the classroom and on the court, obviously. And, you know, with that being said, you know, a lot of players are coming to hoop. They want to play basketball. So tell us a little bit about the basketball side of things.
Yeah, from the basketball side, like I said, I'll go into more specifics, but we are part of the Midwest Conference. And kind of like what Coach Sheldon was saying, we try to also make sure that we take some trips throughout it. This year, we actually played in Southern California, and the prior year we were in Arizona. So we try to get out and really expose our guys to some different competition. Non-conference wise, we always try to challenge ourselves. He was mentioning strength of schedule. Our strength of schedule last year in our non-conference was the 8th best in the country. So we don't avoid anyone. We try to play everyone, and it's such that we're in a competitive league with a lot of different styles. So it's fun in regards to that.
That's awesome. Did you have you had some stuff you wanted to share with
yeah,
us?
Yeah. Hopefully,
go
like Coach Sheldon, I'll be able to handle this.
Perfect.
Does that show, Matt?
Yeah, it looks great.
Oh.
Awesome. So that little bear guy, we kind of added a little bit to our mascot at the college. We're foresters, and so we kind of alluded to that. It looks a little meaner, but like I said, we are a liberal arts school. You can see we were founded well over 150 years ago. And like I mentioned before, we're very diverse in our nature. There's 43 states along with 85 different countries. So we get kids from a lot of different areas, and our basketball program actually represents that, where we have young men from California, Arizona, Illinois. This year we're bringing in a young man who went to school in Maine, another one that went to school in the Boston area, and another one that went to school in Connecticut. So we try to make sure that we're very diverse and it matches our student body. So that's one of the things with us. Our campus itself, like I mentioned, we're 30 miles north of Chicago. So we're in the suburbs of Chicago, in the northern suburbs. And it gives us kind of the flexibility where we're able to do some things in the city, yet we also have kind of our own identity as far as where we are. 60 miles south of Milwaukee. And then you can see in the background, that is Lake Michigan. I know for you guys, it's not the Pacific Ocean, but it's nice for us. There's actually a beach that's there, so you can walk there right from campus. And you can also walk into the downtown area of Lake Forest as well. So those are very easy walks, and it's a campus. We're spread out over 107 acres, and there's 3 different parts to the campus. There's a part that's called North Campus, there's Middle Campus, and then there's also South Campus. And that road that you kind of see, that is Sheridan Road, which is a pretty famous road along in the Chicagoland area. It actually goes from Wisconsin, and then if you head north, it goes all the way into Chicago. And in the northern suburbs, it has a beautiful residential areas and some terrific communities, which we're a part of. So the access for us is really nice. Academically, our class sizes, as you can see, are very small. So it's not a place that you can come there and really hide from your professors. They're going to know if you're in class or whether you're not. We've been there long enough now, we've developed a relationship. So, you know, if suddenly someone's not showing up to class, generally they're going to call us or send us an email just so we get some ideas so we're aware. So the student faculty ratio is very, very small, which is, like I said, which is very nice because the professors really want to have a relationship. They want you visiting during their office hours. They want to be aware of who you are. We have 32 majors on campus plus a variety of different minors, and you don't have to declare that till the end of your sophomore year. So for a lot of kids that come in undecided, they're really unsure, they're able to go into a variety of different fields to kind of navigate where they want to go. And we do have some individuals that also want to double major. Our education majors actually are forced to do that. So they have to get an education major along with a content area. We've always just felt that that was important for them to really be qualified to be able to get a job. Our teachers there really are there to teach. You know, in a lot of places and a lot of universities, they're really there to do research, and you have TAs that are around, and we really don't have that. Our teachers want to really be in the environment to give back and really be student-centric. So 98% of our faculty, like you see, holds PhDs. And then we have a first-year studies program that each freshman comes in and takes. And that first-year studies professor is also an advisor for the student, besides the academic advisors that they also have. That's another one. And then first semester, you take a class that is called first-year studies. During your orientation program, you actually go into the city, and they engross you into some different neighborhoods. And most of the classes have a Chicago theme as far as what they are. So it gives you a good landscape of things. It gives you an idea how to navigate if you do want to go into the city. And then you can select it to really do something that you're really interested in. So it's a nice piece that we have as far as academically. As far as, you know, for all of you, college right now is such that obviously you want to be at a place where they're going to take care of you. And, you know, as your guy's boss, Ryan Silver, says, you always got a plan for the next 40 years. And I think that's something that our school takes a great deal of pride with. So what we do, we start off, we have something called the Forestry Game Plan, which all first-year students that are student athletes come into. And basically, it is a mentoring program that gets them involved with the Career Center. And it allows them to, right from the beginning, immerse themselves. So we want to feel that by the time they're seniors, their resumes are exactly where they want it to be. So it basically becomes such that they have a variety of seminars and things they take. They also do some things that are done with our Career Advancement Center, where we have some speed networking, where a variety of employers come in, and they basically get about 5 different minutes to talk and go one-on-one. And not only is it really enhancing their interview skills, but it also really is allowing them to network and broaden that horizon. So each year of the Forestry Game Plan is really done in a way where it is specific to that year. So as freshmen, it's a very different plan than for sophomores, and so on and so forth. The culmination senior year, there actually is an event we have where we have a speaker come in, and many alumni from the college, to basically speak to our students about what that first 100 days is going to be like on the job, just to make sure not only that they're getting a job, but they're really succeeding in the job. They're getting themselves used to the culture and kind of the things to do, and the things to really stand out, so you're able to do the things that you really want within that particular business. We've been very fortunate with our alumni group. Our alumni groups are very national in nature. So it's kind of, you can see Princeton Review does a variety of different things where they have all these list of rankings. We didn't come in the top 20 of the best party school in the country. We leave that, Matt, to you and Madison. But more importantly, as far as the best alums, they have us ranked number 12. Internships, which is something we take a great deal of pride in. Obviously, our location to Chicago is a terrific start. But in addition to that, we have a variety of people throughout the country. And so the things that you really want to do, the Forestry Game Plan sets you up to be successful in your internship. And then, as it says, 99% of our graduates either have a job or they are enrolled in grad school within that first 6 months out of school. So it gives you some idea of where we're at. As far as basketball, as you've seen, We've had, a huge amount of seasons so far at the college, just as old as we've been and historic as we've been. So we've had 111 different seasons. In our league, we have 10 members in our conference, and there's only 4 members that get in the conference tournament. So I don't know of another league where there's that few that get in. So to become one of those 4 individuals that gets in, you got to have a good year. And we have done that the last 5 years. We've made it to 2 championship games, winning 1, and then we went into 3 semifinals. So the group in 2019 kind of was the breakthrough group for us. You see that one guy, number 15, and his name is Aram Arslan, and he's actually a graduate of Viewpoint School. And that was our first kind of dip into Southern California. And his coach there, JJ Prince, is someone that really entrusted us and Aram and his family. And it kind of started for us a pipeline to California. Actually, the other guy on the far left holding the sign, he also is from Southern Cali, graduate from Maranatha. But that group was really special as far as our 3 seniors, Chad Bouchon, Jordan Moran, and Danny Sotos. So now we're at a point where we got that taste. We're trying to take ourselves to a whole nother step and really become to a point where we really are an elite level program from a basketball style of play. I think the easiest way to really describe that is kind of some metrics that we kind of use. So at the NCAA Division III level, there's 416 teams that are there. That really is the criteria. There's 8 regions across the entire country, and we play in the central region. So I would argue, Coach Sheldon may disagree, but we feel it's the top region in the country, and every year there is a individual that's in the Final Four that is from our region. But we want to make sure offensively that we really value the ball. So in 3 of the last 4 years, we've come in the top 50 as far as the fewest turnovers. The highest ranking we had was number 8 in the country. So that's something that's important to us. But at the same point in time, we want to take good shots. So field goal percentage is something that obviously we want to recruit good shooters, but we also want to make sure our guys are taking good shots. So in the last couple of years, we've been in the top 20 in the country. Last year, we ranked 18th in the country as far as field goal percentage. And then the year prior, we were 10th in the country. So that's something that's important to us. At the same point in time, we want to give our guys some flexibility. So the 3-point shot has become obviously incredibly significant in our game, as well as what we see in the NBA. So it's something that's important to us. And in the last 2 years, we've come in the top 40 in 3-point field goal percentage. 2 years ago, our ranking, we came at 10th in the country. So we want to really recruit good shooters. It's something that's important to us. At the same time, as far as the total number of 3-point field goals that are made in the game the last 2 years have also been in the top 50. So we take a lot of them. It's not that we just make a few and that's a good percentage. We're taking a lot as well. And then last, we want to make sure also we share the ball. So our assist to turnover ratio is something that's very important to us. So 2 of the last 3 years, we've also been in the top 50 as far as nationally when it comes to 416 teams. So it gives you kind of an idea as far as from the offensive end. And then defensively, I would say, being frank with you, that's an area we've got to continue to really progress and get better. But I know everyone likes to play offense, so I talked about the offensive numbers to begin. And then lastly, if anyone wants to get in touch or to connect with us, it's pretty easy. My email is below, davis@lakeforest.edu, and anyone can send me an email. I have a little bias to that, just in the sense I like it a little bit more personalized rather than a lot of times, unfortunately, we get inundated with emails, and sometimes they come from, different recruiting services where sometimes they forget to fill in the blanks of where it said list school, list GPA. And so, it's kind of a mass email. And so I like it kind of personalized so we know that that person was just sending it to us. Our Instagram that you see at LFC Basketball, and then our Twitter is LFC and then underscore MBB. And obviously, I am not the one that controls all those platforms as far as the two. Thank God I have a son who's also the one that controls our offense as well too. And Ryan really handles all that stuff so we can get in the 21st century. But that just gives you a little bit idea. But I'd be happy if anyone reaches out to me. I'd be happy to connect. And a game film is something that we always like, just because no one's ever sent us a highlight film yet. That's show to miss.
Mm-hmm.
It's an incredible thing, but we've never seen anyone miss a shot. So I like looking at a game, and I like looking at a game where it's against other college level players. So where it's someone's, best opponent they play or in their top five, and not necessarily their best game, because there's a lot that we can see besides just them playing at their best. So that gives you an idea. I'll try to get out of this, stop the share screen, and hopefully I'm back with you, Matt.
Yeah,
There we go.
that was great. I'm going to toss it right over to Scotty for a couple more follow-ups.
Coach,
Perfect.
what's it take to get in? Are you guys test optional? And then are you going to be on campus this fall?
Yeah, so we are test optional. We had started that actually a few years ago. And our admissions office right now realized that obviously individuals aren't really being able to take the ACT or the SAT and all the cancellations last year. So we really look, and from an admissions point, we would say we're very holistic and looking at the entirety. I would say as far as like a GPA, our average GPA is right around a 3.7. If a student has taken EP classes or honors classes, our admissions office really likes that. It shows them that they like rigor. It shows them that they want to be challenged. So it gives you kind of an idea. Right now, our plans are to be on campus in the fall when we opened up. Illinois, very luckily, has really kind of become a place that we've been, knock on wood, very lucky recently as far as COVID. And we kind of caught it early, and then we were very strict. Our governor, who was battling our president along with our mayor of Chicago, but they're very strict and upheld that. And so we've been lucky. So we will, our plans are to be there in the fall. And then the same thing with our basketball season as well.
That's good. Keith, since your basketball season seems to be on pace, who do you play in your conference?
Yeah, so in our league, there's 4 schools that are in Wisconsin. There's 3 other schools that are in Illinois, and then 2 in Iowa. Actually, one of those spoke on one of your Tuesday night talks, and that's Coach Arsenal at Grinnell. So our league has a good variety as far as the style of play that's in it. And then we're very, very lucky from a geographic point, Scott, where we are very centrally located. So we're right in the middle of our league. So our bus rides that we take a coach bus, obviously, to those games, but it's nothing that is so dramatic like some other schools that are on one end to the far north going all the way to the far south. So athletes really miss very little class. Our league is such that the games generally are either Tuesday, Saturday games or Wednesday, Saturday. And they do it that way so they don't have to miss the same class if we do have a situation where we miss a class. And then in our league, there's also, it's a full round robin, so you play everyone twice. We have 18 league games, so there are 2 doubleheader weekends where we play a Friday, Saturday. One of that is home, and one of that is away. And generally the away trip is always, they make it one of our longer trips, so our guys don't have to miss class on that Friday. We're able to leave at a decent hour, and then we always return during the week that particular night, so our student athletes can go to class the following day. Sometimes it's not the easiest when we get back, but they all do.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys play in a really competitive league, and you recruit across the country. How do you get these players in a normal environment, camps, tournaments, high school games?
Yeah. In a normal environment, I would tell you no different than a lot of coaches. We try to get out. We try to see as much as we can. For us, the recruiting process generally starts after they finish their junior year. and high school. And then we really are intent on watching all the club tournaments. We do it nationally. I'm very, very fortunate with our assistant coaches. We actually have one right now who lives in the Los Angeles area. So we have some ties that way. We go, whether it's to Arizona or California or wherever it may be, so we can watch a variety of kids. Same thing with showcases. I've been to many of the West Coast Lease events, and obviously you guys do a great job, and you've made it easier for me in August because one actually is a few miles away. So the academic showcase that you guys are having, something like that is great for us. But we try to get out as much as we can. We also take the high school season as something very important to us. So unfortunately, and I feel really bad for the kids this year because they've missed the June opportunity where the NCAA allows them to have scholastic events, and July obviously for the club events, and it really is unfortunate. But we like seeing guys in both environments just because sometimes a guy has to play a certain way with his club team, but also then for his high school, he has a different role. And I like seeing how guys are in both of those roles just because, you know, many guys come in as freshmen and their role may be very different than what they had at the high school level. So we want to see that they can adjust to that. And it's something very important. And I do think, and I know every coach has a very different idea of this, but I do think it's very important where a young man plays as far as for his club team. I think it's very significant for a variety of reasons. One of which, when you talk about as far as who we can see, there are some programs that really do things in a way where they want to showcase their kids. They want to make sure you're aware of their kids. And there are some programs that really don't travel at all. So you don't always get a chance to really see them. And the same thing as far as where a guy goes to high school. For us, it's important. We found that the kids that are coached at the high school level in a way where the balls just aren't rolled out, but they expect them to make sure they're doing breakdown work, they're attentive to the details, they watch film. For those kids, it's just a little bit easier transition for us.
We're really excited about your recruit from San Juan Hills, West Coast Elite kid. So
we are too.
We'll be out there soon to see him.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your staff? It's a family affair.
Yes, I've been incredibly lucky. So I've been married now for 34 years. And one of the things my wife and I agreed to is that I wouldn't coach my sons when they're playing basketball. So I would do some skill work with them, but I waited till really they were in high school to do that. But I was really, really lucky to hire my son, who actually graduated to one of the schools that you guys did. He went to the University of Chicago. So I was really fortunate to hire him, and I've kind of let him run the offense, and he's done a terrific job in that and really gotten us involved in a lot of markets that previously we weren't into. And then we hired someone actually that is from the Southern California area who was a high school head coach, but also had some experience coaching also at the college level in those leagues there. And his name was Jermaine Potts. And so he was also terrific for us, gave us a different perspective. And then we were fortunate enough to also have a third assistant, and his name is Rob Wennington. And Rob has some notoriety just when they did everything. When the Bulls showed their special, his father is Bill Wennington. So he became even more of a celebrity and a figurehead by how nice Michael Jordan was to him during the shows. So we're very, very lucky. We're fortunate with who we have.
Yeah, and I got a chance to I knew Rob. He used to coach at Catholic Memorial back in Boston.
Yeah.
So I knew him from then, and then he spent some time at Northwestern. And so that's a great staff you guys have there. Great location.
And we've been really, Matt, we've been lucky with that we've been able actually to now have two guys that were GAs from Northwestern, Rob being one, and then Ross Ferrarini, who had actually played at Creighton, was also a GA there. So for us, it's been almost like a training grounds. We've been really lucky with that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And, you know, again, just the city of Chicago, great place to go to school. There's a lot of young people there as well. And like you mentioned, the location between getting downtown, getting to Milwaukee, getting all different places within your league as well is really, I think, enticing for a lot of kids. we only have a couple more minutes here, Coach, but is there anything else that maybe we didn't get a chance to talk about that that you wanted to just bring to light before we kind of sign off and move on for our third speaker?
Yeah, just a couple things real quick. One of the things obviously is making sure that, I thank you guys, Scotty and Matt, you guys have done a great job, and I appreciate you guys offering me the invitation. I just think it's something that right now where, kids really, unfortunately, don't have the opportunities they've had to really experience a lot of different schools and visit places. So the forum that you guys and obviously Ryan Silver provided, I think really is terrific for kids. And then the last thing, obviously, with everything going on as far as is in our country, and a lot of times, when you mention Chicago, it really is a terrific city, and we're incredibly fortunate to be so close. But unfortunately, Chicago and recently has been in the news, not always for the greatest of things, and with the social unrest that our country has unfortunately had, Chicago is very, very diverse, and it has some terrific neighborhoods. But really, I'm just hoping that so many of the things that are there right now get resolved and get solved, and some of the inequities that have been around for a long time. It's such that right now, I just want that we understand. Like I say, there's really in Chicago, there's three different sides to it, as far as the north side, the south side, and the west side, and they're all very diverse. But at the same token, right now, my thoughts are on a lot of those situations and making sure that everyone kind of comes together right now across the country and the world.
Yeah, definitely. No, I appreciate you mentioning that, Coach. Chicago, like you said, has a rich history, obviously a rich basketball history with the Bulls, but also, just some amazing players have come out of the city of Chicago, but also has a rich history for a lot of other reasons with some of these topics that you just mentioned. So, well, we really appreciate you being on with us tonight, Coach. And we are really excited to get to see you guys when we're out there in your neck of the woods in just a few weeks. So, again, if anybody has more questions for Coach Davis, please feel free to shoot him an email or reach out on social media. Just know that if you hit him in Instagram, it won't be him responding. It'll probably be Ryan. But either way, we look forward to seeing you guys soon. Please stay safe, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.
Same to you guys. Thanks again.
Well, Coach.
Yeah.
There he is.
What up? Been a while.
Scotty, what's up, man? What's up, man? Good to see you guys.
How you doing? We'd love to introduce our third speaker of the evening, Coach Maco Hamilton from George Fox. We are really excited to have you on, and appreciate you joining us tonight, Coach.
Yeah, man, it's great to be with you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about our university and our program. And it's great to see you guys, man. I'm missing being in the gym with you guys, so this is cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
we miss seeing you, man. It looks beautiful outside where you're at. This
Hey,
is a live background.
It's Pacific Northwest right here, man. This is the best time of year up here. This is what it's like. 12 months, 365 days a year. I want everybody out there to know it.
Oh, man, it's
Trees,
amazing.
sun.
That's amazing.
No, that's
Well,
great.
We appreciate you joining us tonight. So for we've been pretty lucky to this evening. We've had schools East Coast, Midwest, and now here on the West Coast. So for you, Coach, tell us a little bit about kind of your background and kind of what got you to George Fox.
Yeah, so after my playing days, collegiately, I finished up, got my my degree in business administration, and had some career aspirations. And as I was waiting for those things to take shape, I was at home and trying to figure things out. I got a phone call from a local high school coach who was looking to fill a freshman position. So for the time being, it was a nice little chunk of change and kept me involved in the game. So I took that. And lo and behold, and little did I know, it was going to transform my life. Just being able to work with young people, being around the game, it was something that just resonated with me. So I I fully pursued it, got my master's in education, was a high school coach, assistant for 6 years, a head high school coach for 6 years, served as a high school guidance counselor, which was a great occupation. And then the opportunity at George Fox arose. This was 7 years ago, kind of came out of the blue. There were some just unique opportunities that presented itself. And I felt like for me to just continue the journey of coaching and really being able to stay aligned with what I believe philosophically, the university provided that. And so it was an opportunity that that I decided to take with the blessings of my family, and here we are.
And tell just real quick, talk about what that experience was like working at the high school level, being a guidance counselor, being in that kind of supporting role. And now how has that changed now working with an older demographic at the college level?
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, I have a heart to serve young people, especially at that age. You know, when they're in high school, there's so much that they're going through. They're developing their minds, their passions, their ideas. And so for me, it was great to come alongside kids and meet them where they're at. And obviously, when you're working in the high school setting, you know, you're going to get a variety of different kids from backgrounds and unique situations. And so to meet them, to guide them, to mentor them was a blessing. And really that, again, that philosophy carries over into the college atmosphere. You know, yes, we were working with older kids, but the challenges are still the same. The world that they're navigating is still the same, and they're still trying to figure things out. And so the ability to be able to mentor, to come alongside young men, and to be able to really be of value to them is something that I really, really cherish.
Yeah, definitely. No, and I think it's always really unique when you can have somebody that's had that experience working with young people, trying to get them to college, and now you're working with people trying to get them to what's next. And you know, a big part of that comes from the university and the people that are surrounding them. So, talk a little bit about George Fox. Tell us, you know, for some people that might not be as familiar, give us a little bit of breakdown about the great school that you work at.
Yeah, can I share this screen, Scott? I got a
Oh yeah,
or Matt,
sure.
I got a little yeah, here, I'm gonna see if this will work. Is that pulling up?
Yep.
Looks
Okay.
nice.
Okay, so like, yeah, let me give a little bit of a general background information on the university. You know, because I'm sure a lot of people out there aren't familiar with George Fox. So we are a private liberal arts university. We're a Christian university, so it's a faith-based school. In fact, it's one of the top 2 or 3 Christian universities in the country. We're located in the Pacific Northwest, just outside of Portland, Oregon. We're in a small rural town called Newberg, Oregon, of about 25,000 people. We're beautifully located. We're a 30-minute drive from downtown Portland. We're an hour from the Oregon coast. We're right on near the banks of the Willamette River, which runs through the city and through parts of our state. We are about an hour, maybe an hour and a half from Mount Hood. So there's a lot of great things to do up here, a lot of outdoor things. So it's a great location for our students. We have about 4,000 students, as you can see some of the numbers here. We serve a pretty big graduate school population, and then our undergrad population is usually around 2,500 or so. You see the numbers from last year. We offer over 40 different majors, and so we have a nice variety for a liberal arts college. Our heavily enrolled majors, or maybe the ones we're most renowned for, are our School of Business, Engineering, our sciences, with our pre-med and our medical routes there, and then education as well. So those are our top ones, our heavy hitters. We have about an average classroom size between 14 to 15 to 1, and we have a promise, a philosophy on our campus. It's called Be Known. And so essentially what that means is that students are going to be valued. They're not going to just be a number on our campus. Their professors, other faculty members are going to get to know them, value them, meet them where they're at. And so you see that really transcended into the classroom, and it helps with the academic performance and achievement. We have a great program on our campus. It's called the Idea Center. So it's an individualized career and counseling center that works with our students from the onset of their time on campus. It helps guide them to a track to graduate, from our university in 4 years. It helps set them up for professional opportunities through building their portfolios, to creating network opportunities, to connecting them with internships. So it's really, it's a unique program across the country, and our school has been one of the first to really push this out, and it's been a unique thing for our student population. We have about a 94 to 95% placement rate for our graduate students into some professional field, whether it's right into the workforce, into a paid internship, or to further their schooling through a graduate program, a medical school, whatever it may be. And so our school does a really good job of connecting our students into the professional world. And it's a unique place. Our campus is beautiful. I mean, our website is full of information. Right now, we're signing students up to be able to do live virtual tours. It's a beautiful campus. Is spread out extremely well. It gives a great representation of the landscape of the Pacific Northwest. We've had a ton of updates to our infrastructure, new facilities. So it's a place where you just come on campus and you just feel the warmth, the community feel, but you see all the newness, and it's just it's an awesome place to be right now. And so we're really excited to be able to share, about our school. If I can dive into just kind of talking a little bit about our program now and just what we're about as well. And then, I'll save some time for questions as well, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So so our program, we compete in the Northwest Conference. The Northwest Conference is comprised of 9 schools in the great states of Oregon and Washington. I think we're one of the top 5 or 6 Division III conferences in the country across all sports. Our school, university, offers 22 intercollegiate sports. We have about a fourth of our student population are athletes. So the vibe and the feel of athletics is really, really important at George Fox, and you see that across the schools in our conference. We're a school, and I saw others people speak to, and I get asked this a lot when we're talking to recruits, kind of about what it's like to be an athlete on our campus. So I want to touch on that a little bit as well. But before I do that, I want to talk about our schedule. We play 25-game schedule across Division III. 16 of those are in conference, so we play everyone twice. And we try to schedule tough as well. We are there's a stretch there where we had 5 consecutive years where we played the #1 team in the country at the Division III level. We are willing to travel. Last year we went back east and played a couple games in Connecticut. This year, if things go as we hope, we'll be scheduled to play just outside of Dallas. We're going to head down to Southern California, but we've played outside of Chicago. We've gone to Milwaukee to play some schools in Wisconsin. We've gone to Colorado. So we try to get out. We try to give our kids a great experience, to their collegiate athletic opportunities and experiences. And so we try to get out and play a tough schedule and travel. For us, the rigor of our program is great in terms of what we're trying to do in terms of preparation, expectations, accountability. I know a common question, as I referred to a minute ago, is what does a typical day look like? And so I do want to address that as well. So for us, we start our basketball stuff in the late afternoon. So really between the hours of 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. are when the majority of our classes are in session. So from that point on, from 3 o'clock on, we really do a lot of basketball related stuff. So we're spending time in the classroom, obviously building schemes, terminology, concepts early in the year. As we get to the middle and latter part of the year, we're doing a ton of film work, looking at ourselves, obviously doing a ton of scouting stuff, looking at opponents' personnel. So we spend a lot of time just building our intellect with the game of basketball as it relates to what we're doing and what our opponents are doing. We'll get on the floor and we'll practice. After practice, our practices usually go for 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we get after very competitive, fast-paced practices. We'll do a post-practice recovery stretch routine that we do on a daily basis. So we're really big on our guys taking care of their bodies, and we do a lot of things to enhance that. And then, we'll send our guys off for dinner, and then we'll come back in the evening and we'll reconvene as a team, usually around 8 in the evening, and we'll have study tables. And when we do that, we obviously value academics in our program and try to create space for our guys to be able to grow in their academic endeavors as well. Some things that I want to just share about with our philosophy and our program and who we are. So this right here is kind of our philosophy, our belief statement, what we believe in. And really a core thing for us is the development of our guys as young men. And I'm going to dive into a little bit more about that here in a minute. But really, as we're trying to build a competitive program and obviously the results on the floor are things that we're striving to be consistently great at, but we also understand that there's a bigger cause at play. And we want our guys to learn more about themselves. We want them to take skills that they're going to be able to apply in life in the real world, and they're going to be able to bring back to their communities and their jobs and their families. And so, obviously sports brings a lot of great value to life skills, and we think basketball is no different. So, these different things I have listed, I won't go through them all, but I want everyone out there that's watching to be able to get a glimpse into what we're about. These are things that we spend a lot of time on. They're definitely weaved into the fabric of our program, and they're things that we absolutely value and we own with our guys. So we have really kind of four key things about our program, and this is a glimpse of who we are. And so I'll dive into our standards and our mission, and then our values, and ultimately leads to our identity. And these are things that are really, really important to us. But we understand that we are, again, going back to my days as a high school guidance counselor, we're in the mode of shaping and helping build young men, and that's really, really the core of who we are and what we're about. So it starts with our mission, and this is why we do what we do, and who we are. We're at the core of everything. Relationships is the key to our program. I think that's just such a great characteristic for a healthy life. And relationships are vibrant, they're challenging, they're beautiful, they create love and opportunities. And so we feel like our program is a foundation for that. We want our guys to understand that, sports is so outcome driven, and we get lost. We get lost in that world as well, and we want our guys to understand the journey is greater than the process. No matter what you achieve, it's the process that you go through to get there that creates the memories and what builds you. And so those are things that we really value. We want our guys to grow. We stole this acronym, and then we try to live by the principles of being a man built for others. And that's something that we really identify with. We want our guys, like I said, to be able to be impactful in the world around them when they leave our program. Our core values essentially are centered around three things. Number one, compassion. Obviously, with everything going on in the world right now, I think that's a term that we all need to embrace in this world. And we want our guys to learn what it means to truly care for the needs of others. We want to build men of integrity. We want them to be able to make the right decision. I just heard a quote from Coach K. I was reading a book. Actually, it was in Jay Billis's Toughness book, and it was Coach K on a video that he produced for Black Lives Matter on Twitter. So I'm sure a lot of people saw that. But he talked about, back at the academy, he talked about doing the difficult right over the easy wrong. And so we want our guys to understand that integrity is about doing the right thing. And then we're about service. We want our guys to learn what it means to serve others, to think outside of themselves. Our world would be a better place if we got out of our individualistic thoughts and ideations. And so we want our guys to learn what it means to serve other people. And so that's a big component of our program as well. Our standards, this is what we want to be about on the floor. These things also carry into life. We're striving to be great. We're, again, trying to build our program up to a competitive championship level. And these are the things that we want to be at the fabric of it. These are pedigrees that we think are really, really important for that. And they're just kind of all, they go together. Not one trumps the other. So we want accountability in our program. We want guys who value being held accountable. But we want guys who, more importantly, hold themselves accountable. They're able to evaluate where they're at, and they're able to do the right things. And we want a program where guys are holding each other accountable as well. That's something that we really encourage and we stress. We have a collective ownership group leadership model in our program, and it's something that we really value. We want guys that are confident, and the confidence is, it's about their swag and how they carry themselves, but it's also about their ability to respond to adversity. It's about their competitive spirit, how they handle situations. That's really, really important to us. We want guys who have a passion for the game. I think a true passion for whatever you're doing is exhibited in how much you put into it. So we want our guys, at the Division III level, we have a lot of restrictions on what we can do out of season. So we want guys who are going to be willing to go above and beyond what's required to be great, whether that's obviously in sports, but in the classroom, in the relationships, in life. We want guys giving their all to the things that they're committed to. And then lastly, we want tough guys. We want guys who are mentally and physically tough, that they're gonna give their all. They're gonna compete. They're not gonna shy away from opportunities to be better. So these are things that are really, like I said, the core of our program in terms of what we're trying to accomplish on the floor. Like I mentioned before, we have this acronym, our identity. When it's all said and done, when a guy leaves our program, we want them to be what we say is a man built for others. We want them to understand that their lives are going to be more than themselves, that they're going to be accountable to others, and they're going to be impacting people around them in their jobs, in their neighborhoods, in their families. and their relationships. And so we really, really spend a lot of time in this process of helping our guys get to this concept and what this means. And then lastly, on the floor, we have this motto. You see it plastered on our warm-up gear. I wear it a lot on a lot of our apparel. Is just sprint. It's really what we do on the floor. It's how we play. It's our style, which I'll get into here in a second. It's playing fast. It's playing hard. It's playing with passion, and it's playing selfless. It's what we do every single day. Ryan Grinnell, the young man there, centered in the middle of our two former players, is kind of at the heart of it. He was a young man I was able to coach when he was younger and work within the high school setting, and he went through a pretty traumatic, life-altering accident, and so he's at the core of this motto that he created, and it's been something that has been a part of my coaching philosophy for a number of years, and it's really what we live by. So let me talk a little bit about, I'm gonna actually go back here before I dive into facilities. Let me talk a little bit about our style of play and what we're about. We are a team that plays fast. We are a high possession. We're going to attack you on both ends of the floor. We are consistently one of the highest scoring teams, not only in our conference, but in the country. We're going to press you for the full 40 minutes on every possession, made basket, missed basket. We're going to get out and deny. We're going to switch a lot of stuff. We're going to just do a lot of things to create havoc defensively. Offensively, we're playing a fast pace. We're looking to score quickly in transition. We spread the floor out. We really are adapting to the way the game is being played right now, a positionless game. So, we're not really identifying or placing guys into positions. We're looking for hoopers. We want guys that can play. And versatility is really crucial in what we do. We want guys that are going to play with confidence and have a belief in their ability to handle it, to shoot, to make decisions. So our system is going to be really a bunch of quick hitters. We're going to run a lot of ball screens, quick pin downs, other action that's going to really create a lot of dribble penetration and spreading the floor and trying to get defenses in rotation and scramble opportunities for us. A little bit about our facility. So we play our gym and our locker room, weight room is in the Wheeler Sports Center on our campus. So Miller Gymnasium that you see there on the left, Taylor Court, that's where we play our games. A big, beautiful facility. It holds just over 2,500 people. It has 3 full courts in there. Our guys have access to it most of the day. They can just swipe in and they can get shots up. It's an athlete-only facility, which is great. We have a weight room right upstairs. You can see there on the right. We actually have 2 athletic facilities on campus, both house weight rooms, training rooms, and then we have a beautiful student rec center on campus. We have an aquatic center that also doubles up as a rec center as well. So we have a ton of facilities for students to be able to further themselves in terms of, sorry about that, just their strength, their conditioning, their fitness, their health. So it's a really good thing there. This is our team room, a little glimpse into what we are, and you can just kind of get an idea of what it looks like. We have a beautiful space for our guys to really own and spend a lot of time together. We're a Nike sponsor school. I'm sorry to say that, fellas, but I know a lot of kids like to know those things. And we have an alum who's well known in the basketball circles, Eric Lautenbach, who's been really generous to us. And so we have a lot of strong ties to Nike, and it probably helps. We get probably more apparel and gear items than most small colleges. I'd venture to say if we're not the most outfitted program in the country, we got to be right near the top, which is cool. So so from shoes to travel gear, obviously all of our uniforms, apparel items. So it's a really cool thing. So I'll get out of there. We'll stop there. A few other things that I would probably just hit on really is what we're looking for in recruits. I kind of spoke on it a little bit with the versatility. Again, I don't care about position. We want to get the best players possible. Those intangibles of our standards that I mentioned are things that we're really trying to vet out: the toughness, the passion, the competitive fight. But we want kids that are versatile, that are willing to do multiple things. And so those things to me are really, really important with what we're looking for. And again, to be fully transparent, our program, we're still trying to build it. We're not a nationally established program. We're trying to build our brand. We're trying to build our competitiveness and our performance on the floor. And we have great young men. We're very connected, and we have slowly moved the needle. But we're continuing to try to get the best student athletes that we can get that are going to help us get to that point where we're competing for championships year in and year out. I've been really excited to in the last 4 years, we've had 4 straight 1,000 point scores in our program. So I think we provide a program where guys are able to grow not only as people, but academically and athletically, and really maximize their experiences. So yeah, that's a little bit about us. Whatever questions you guys have, please.
Coach, very thorough, very impressed. Some good stuff.
I appreciate it, Scott.
When you're talking about vetting players, trying to find the best player available, how are you doing that right now in this environment?
Yeah, it's been challenging, obviously, not being able to get out and see guys. So we're really relying on high school and club coaches. We've spent a lot of time in the spring reaching out to coaches across the West. I mean, we mainly recruit the West Coast and some of the Western states. We'll get into Utah, Colorado, Idaho. We've, obviously got down into Arizona, but so we're trying to, the networks that we have, and we're trying to continue to build them. We've been fortunate to build a pretty strong, at least in quantity, recruiting database right now with coaches that have reached out to us. And really, it's at a point right now where we're not picky. We're returning calls and emails and text messages to all kids that we are coming across, and hopefully, we've been diving into film, and we'll continue to do that throughout the summer and probably into the fall, depending on how this virus hangs around. And so, by any means necessary is what we're trying to do right now to get some great young men on our list.
100%. Are you guys on rolling admission, or do you have admissions deadlines?
Yeah, so we do have deadlines, but for our student athletes is rolling. So we have the flexibility to get kids in late. In fact, we're still talking to a couple transfer kids right now. So, and we're a month away from school. So yeah, if we can find the right fit, our school is very inviting and welcoming to getting kids in if they're going to be a good fit for our program and our university.
Do you primarily look at for high school kids? You look at the prep schools, the post grads, the JUCOs, all the different.
Yeah, we've primarily recruited high school, and the reason for that, and now we've had transfer students. In fact, in this recruiting class that we're bringing in for this upcoming year, we do have 2 transfer students. Typically, we'll get our transfers from other 4 years. Actually, but these 2 coming in are 2 JUCO guys, so go figure. But really, high school has been kind of where we put our primary focus. We want to be able to work with guys for 4 years. We feel like our system and what we're trying to build is such where I think those extra couple of years are important and crucial. Also, financially, just to be, again, I'm a transparent guy. Financially, we just have better packages for high school kids than we do transfer, so it's not always feasible from a money perspective to spend a lot of resources on transfer kids. There's situations that it works out, again, we've had them before. But we like the development of kids and helping them grow and being able to have them contribute in our program for 4 years and how we've been and where we're going. Like, we play freshmen. Like, it's something that we do. I mean, we've had a run there. I think this past year was the first year where we hadn't started a freshman, since I've been there. So, but we play freshmen in our rotation. So the more experience they get, the better. So we think we have a program that offers that opportunity.
What's the ticket price on George Fox, and what kind of aid packages do you offer? Need-based, academic?
Yeah. So this year, for this upcoming academic year, we were hovering around $48,000 for everything. So tuition fees, room and board, books, cost of living. Our average student gets about $25,000 in aid. We've seen, we've gotten students who've gotten more than that and less than that. We have academic aid for every student who is accepted into our university. We have institutional scholarship opportunities. We obviously honor FAFSA, so any type of need-based grants that students will qualify scholarship-wise. We offer that obviously through the federal programs, but we offer those at the university as well. We have students that do work study, small federal loans. So it's kind of a diverse way of building their financial aid package, but we do have packages and again, depending on the student's profile, academically, financially, is going to determine what they're ultimately going to get.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great aid. My last question is, can you talk about your work with Courts for Kids? I thought that was really awesome that you've been a part of that program.
Yeah, so Courts for Kids it's a nonprofit organization that serves impoverished communities around the world. And really what they do is they go into communities that just lack resources, and they build basketball courts, outdoor courts. And it's amazing that how much can be accomplished on an outdoor concrete court. I don't think we realize it in the States. It's funny, as we're going through this stay-at-home order, how many kids are playing outside and it's like foreign to them, and it's like I tell them, man, when I was growing up, this is where we got our runs in. So, but it's a beautiful thing. We get to really impact communities and schools and give kids a safe place to play. As we know, sports is one of the, if not the top, avenue for kids to be able to stay safe and to learn about themselves. And so I've been on the board since the inception of the organization back in 2008, and I've been able to go on 5 trips. We actually took our George Fox program, our team, on a trip a few years ago. We kind of dubbed that as our foreign trip, and it was an awesome opportunity to serve and live life in the community of people. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it's amazing, the facilities, the way that you guys brand your program. I mean, even I couldn't stop looking at your logo. I'm seeing a G, and then I'm also seeing an F, and I'm like, wow, like it's just great. In your locker room, I mean, you guys do a phenomenal job of branding. How important is that to you? Maybe being a school that maybe isn't as well known as some other schools nationally, but how important is that branding to you, and how does that translate to kind of paying off for your players and stuff?
It's super important, Matt. I mean, I think, like you said, we're not on both levels. I mean, athletically, we're not we're not at a national level yet. Even academically, we're a great institution. I mean, it's a wonderful education, but we're not in the upper elite of the elite. And so a lot of people don't know about us. We're tucked away here in the Pacific Northwest. And so we've done a tremendous job as a university of branding our school, not only on the athletic side, but, on just on the whole. And there was a stretch there where we were one of the fastest growing in terms of enrollment universities in the country. And a big part of that was how we were branding ourselves. You see a lot of our logos plastered around the Portland metropolitan area. We're all over social media. Again, our affiliation with Nike has really helped with just our logo, our brand, the things that we do. And so it's been huge. And we use that in our recruiting tool, and we use that really for our student athletes. And I think the great thing, like I said before, our guys get a great collegiate experience. I mean, they're stepping in and they're getting apparel and gear, and they're traveling, and they're doing things that gives them as close to like a Division I experience as they can get at our level. And I think that's really, really important, because these guys are doing a lot as student athletes. And so I think they deserve to be recognized and have those perks. And that's something we really, really value.
Definitely. And the last question that I was curious about to ask you, you mentioned that just the university itself and some of the philosophies and values is a faith-based school. And so, we haven't had a ton of schools on our talks that, have mentioned that being a big part. So what does that do to differentiate you guys from some other schools that kids might be looking at? Like, if somebody is really interested in attending a school, why might they choose George Fox for that reason?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, man. I mean, I think, first of all, being a liberal arts education, I mean, it's spoken into the curriculum. It's a part of who we are. So what it does is, if a kid comes from a background of faith, if that's something that's really, really important to their family, they're going to come to an environment where they're going to be encouraged to, obviously live that out and honor it. They don't have to hide behind it. But here's the unique thing, and this is indicative of our program. I would tell you, I mean, we carry 16 guys in our roster. I'd say maybe a third of our kids come from faith backgrounds. We live in a world that is super diverse, and our school represents that. It's not an exclusive school just to kids of faith. And our program is no different. We recruit kids of diverse backgrounds, from faith to their ethnicity, to what they believe. And so for me, it's a snapshot of the world. And I think the beautiful thing about our school is you're going to be challenged in a lot of different ways. You're going to be, you're going to hear about theology, and it's going to challenge you, whether you come from faith or not, to think about why you believe what you do, and maybe conform or change those thoughts in some ways. We're a place, as we've been dealing with everything in our country, like, we've spent a lot of time as a team talking through just justice. And those are things that are a big part of our program. So really, the faith component, I think, creates a safe environment for students to feel like they can express themselves. But it's also a place where, if you don't come from faith, you're going to be welcomed and invited, and not pushed or felt judged to believe that way. I think conversations is really, really important. Our school provides that. That's what the world is about. That's how we're going to make it a better place, if we're willing to be uncomfortable and be challenged. And I think that's what our school provides.
Definitely. Yeah, no, and one more question I wanted to ask too. We've had on our talk a school situated in Boston and a school situated in Chicago. And now we're talking about a school that is kind of tucked away, right, in the Pacific Northwest. So for kids that were on this call, maybe and they're thinking, I don't know if I want to go to school in a really big city like Boston or Chicago. How do you attract kids, and what draws kids into maybe a more intimate environment like you guys can offer?
Yeah, I'm telling you, like people, the Northwest is a hidden gem. Portland is one of the best cities in the country, and anyone who's ever visited here will tell you that. It's
Yep.
it's a beautiful place. It's beautiful. We have a vibrant metropolitan area. It's easy to navigate. We're like the 21st largest market in the country, so it's a big city, but it's not too big. Like I said, it's gorgeous from the landscape. The people are friendly. It's a safe place. I think it's just awesome. And then, we're 2.5 hours from Seattle, which is, one of the top 10 big cities in the country that offers even more. And then beyond that, I mean, we're short distance away. I mean, we're 10 hours away from the Bay Area. We're 16 hours from LA, 2 very short flights or day drives. So, I mean, we're not far from a lot of stuff. And I think Portland is a unique place because you can get away from the hub and bub and the fast pace of major city life, and you can come to a place where it's going to be vibrant, and it's going to be, it's going to offer everything that a major city will, but it's going to do it at a slower pace. And so I think that's the cool thing about our location.
And you got clearly beautiful foliage, amazing views.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm telling you, like right now, there's not a better place in the country to be. We do get a little bit of rain every now and then, come winter, but this is the payoff.
I love it. I love it. And that's the view from every freshman room, correct?
That's right. Every dorm room looks out just like this. You got it, Matt.
Well, with the last minute or so that we have, is there anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you wanted to bring up before we end things for the night?
The only thing I would say that I would just add, and I appreciate you guys giving me the platform to share, I just want any high school kids that are out there or their parents, like we are an inviting program. Please feel free to reach out to ask more, to learn more. And I'm sure there's a lot of kids on here that we're recruiting as well. And for us, we're not about trying to sell George Fox. We're about informing, about building relationships, and we want to be able to help kids in this process make the best and informed decision. For some, it's coming here. For some, it's not. But we value that time. So, we're really looking to connect with kids. And so I just want to kind of throw that out there. I know you guys have all my contact information. We're on all the social media outlets. So feel free to reach out to me or any of my assistants. We're going to get back to you. And yeah, I guess the last thing I would say, Matt, I was looking through the questions. I'm definitely an MJ guy.
Okay.
Through and through. He's the
All right.
GOAT.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I respect that answer. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Coach. You've done an amazing job. You've come to our camps. You've put yourself out there. We talk about the branding. And so the least we can do is try to help get, your school, the environment that you guys have, and what the amazing things you guys can offer out there, because I think there are plenty of people on this call and people that will tune in and watch these videos that we post when they put them on YouTube that are going to be really interested in that. So hopefully this can, increase and help in whatever way that we can, because we do appreciate you making that trip and, working our camps, and hopefully we get a chance to see you soon, whenever we get back in the gym. But in the meantime, enjoy the beautiful weather. We appreciate you spending some time with us tonight, and please stay safe out there.
I appreciate it, guys, man. You guys are the best. You guys do it better than everyone else, and I appreciate including me in all this stuff. So take care. I hope to see you guys soon.
Thanks, Coach.
See you, Maco.